First of all, I want to say thank you for just taking the time and talking with us.
No problem.
So today is the closing arguments for both the prosecution, which they're completed, and the defense is about to start.
Right.
Can you tell everybody why you're here today?
I'm here for one thing because fighting for sexual abuse victims is very important for me. In this particular case with Mr. Kelly, one of the things that I've learned being a student of psychology is that there are three types of sexual abuse victims. You have people who basically are sexually abused, they go quiet, they don't say anything. You have people who are sexually abused and they grow up to be advocates like myself, they fight back. And then you have some people that are sexually abused and it becomes a form of learned behavior. And because of their sexual abuse, then they intend to sexually abuse others because it was kind of something that was taught to them and was never corrected. I think that what's happening here is very unfortunate. But the reason why I'm here and my question is if this is a case that is a RICO case or you got so many people involved, why is R. Kelly the only person that's on trial?
That's a good question. Do you know Mr. Kelly personally?
We have some ties, but I don't know him personally.
So this obviously, this case has been going on for almost 23 days.
Yes.
We're almost at the end of the road of the case.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to the alleged victims that actually came to the court? What do you have to say to them? What are your thoughts about them?
Of course, my heart goes out to any victim. I stand with any victim because I myself am a survivor of sexual abuse. However, I don't want to make light of the fact that this man was also sexually abused himself. And so when you are in a sexually perverted environment, right, things happen. And I think that as parents, we have a responsibility to protect our children to make sure that things like this do not happen. So unfortunately for Mr. Kelly, things have come to a head. This is something that's been going on for quite some time, and we're all here to see what the decision of the court is going to be today. But I think that it's important for us to use this particular trial here as a lesson moving forward as far as what age is appropriate for children to make decisions when it comes to sex or any type of sexuality. We can also take this case and remember that this should be an example when it comes to children and choices, and pay attention to what's happening currently in our government, where we're seeing a lot of bills passed that are supporting, children and gender identity and, LGBTQ children, which all of those are sexual preferences. At what age is the age for a child to be able to decide or make any type of decisions when it comes to sex?
Well, this might be a slight off topic, but I know you were closely aligned with President Trump. How do you think this administration is doing?
Horrible. We can look and see what's going on. All of this stuff happening with mandatory vaccinations, what's going on at the border with the Haitians, amnesty coming through, giving amnesty to 11 million Central Americans. And then when Haitians get to the border, all of a sudden they have to be sent back. Not only that, the Equality Act that was passed was coming down the pipeline, and the education as far as what's going on with our children. We are creating a very sexually charged environment. And when do we say, hey, wait a minute, let's protect the innocence of children? So that's something that drew me to this case today, because what age is old enough?
I watched witness after witness for the prosecution come in and give testimony. What I thought was odd is that Mr. Kelly's defense did not call a lot of witnesses. And he worked with a lot of people in the music industry. Do you think it's odd that none of them have showed up to perhaps give some kind of character reference?
I think that that's very telling. Is it that they haven't shown up because they were involved? Is it that they hadn't shown up because they know that the allegations are true? Or is it that they hadn't shown up because when you get in trouble, your friends just abandon you? I think that's a good question. Why haven't they shown up, and where is the support for Mr. Kelly, if there is any?
Now, the documentary Survivor R. Kelly, someone would say that it kind of kick-started this whole process for this federal case. Did you have an opportunity to watch the documentary? If so, what did you think of it?
Not only did I have an opportunity to watch the documentary, but I had an opportunity to have several conversations with one of the alleged victims, Jerronda Pace. And listening to her, I actually kind of believe some of the things that she said to me. And I think that a lot of the allegations that are coming forth are absolutely horrific. But my question is where were the parents of these teenagers who allowed this to happen? Is this neglect in addition to sexual abuse? When do we start holding those in charge responsible for what happens to our children?